Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Thank you for being here. My name is Andrew, coming to you from the beautiful Carolinas. Today's topic is going to be how the narcissist sabotaged your relationships. Think about that for a minute. Guys, if you like the content, please like, subscribe, and share. So the narcissist, did they ever sabotage anything when you were in the relationship? Of course they did. And one of the key things they sabotaged was your relationships. Notice I said plural. Relationships, not relationship. But I'll dig into both of those specifically in this video. Now, first of all, I'll talk about your relationship, the one that you had with the narcissist. That was destined to fail from the beginning, from the onset. And the reason why is because when you met the narcissist, most likely they portrayed themselves to be one person when in fact they were somebody else. In other words, they wore a mask to manipulate you, to dupe you, to trick you, to ensnare you in their web of manipulation. Once they did that and they knew that they had you, example that you told them you loved them, you married them, you moved in with them, you signed the papers with them, you went into business with them, you loaned them money, whatever you did, that's when they said, okay, I have this one, they're now mine. That's kind of what I would call the lasso technique. They're lassoing you into a relationship. Think about the cowboy days, the old westerns, right? The cowboy would ride down the prairie or whatever and lasso some animal, that kind of thing. That's what they're doing. They're lassoing you into a relationship when many times you are the most vulnerable and you don't know what's going on. I can tell you one thing you don't know during that early on stage. You don't know about narcissism, and you don't know that the speed of the relationship is instrumental for them to lasso you into the relationship. You didn't know it. You're getting the wisdom now on my channel. You're becoming awakened and aware, educated and empowered. These are good things. Having said that, you didn't have the wisdom back then. You're now getting it. So in the beginning of the relationship, they were sabotaging the relationship with you from the very beginning. After they knew that they had you ensnared, they began to devalue you. That's called the devaluation stage, or I call it the narcissistic fog, where you can't do anything right and things are slowly shifting in favor of the narcissist. Remember, for a period of time, you were the perfect person. You could do no wrong. Everything was puppies and rainbows in the relationship. Remember those days? Of course you do. You used to get texts, emojis, how much this person loved you or cared about you, how they couldn't be without you, all the times you would spend on the cell phone or together. This was on purpose. It was meant to get you hooked into them. And keep in mind, the narcissist doesn't get hooked onto you or anybody. They can't do that. They are a parasite. They want you hooked onto them. They want you needing them, wanting them, pining them, working for them, believing in them, etc. But when you're in the devaluation stage or the narcissistic fog, that's when they're going to begin to sabotage the relationship. Because what happens there is that's when they're going to begin to gaslight you, to give you the silent treatment, to instill the smear campaign, to talk untruths to your family, your social circle, your friends, your neighbors, your coworkers, your own kids at times. Yes, I do mean that. The narcissist is always sabotaging your relationships, but with you, in this part of the video, what they're trying to do, and they accomplish it so many times, is they're trying to isolate you from your network, from those who you value the most, from those who are the closest to you, from those who have believed in you from the minute they met you. These people are manipulated also. They are being sabotaged. That relationship with them is being decimated, whether you knew it or not. I'm sure now you know it, post-narcissistic relationship, but we'll talk about that in a minute. Having said these things, the narcissist has goals. And the goals are in no specific order. 1, to ensnare you in the web of manipulation. 2, to extract all of your resources, or as many of them as they can get from you, which include your time, energy, love, empathy, looks, social status, friendships, everything, businesses, tangible assets. Money is a huge one. Financial abuse is huge. And the third is to isolate you, to keep you away from your support system so you become reliant on the false narrative of the narcissist. There are so many other things, but the narcissist sabotaged the relationship with them. Let's say, as an example, it was a romantic relationship. Well, what happened? First of all, it probably moved at light speed. Second of all, you probably were either looking for love or you were in a vulnerable position, meaning perhaps you just lost a spouse or a loved one or a parent or a sibling or somebody and you hadn't grieved properly. Another thing is the narcissist sized you up and they saw your assets, what you had. Perhaps it was beautiful, positive energy. Perhaps it was empathy. Perhaps it was dollar signs. Perhaps it was social status. Who knows what it was, but they did all three of these or any combination of them and so many more things. And when they did that, they realized, wow, okay, I can get a lot from this person. And I'm going to have them believing in me, isolate them from the support system, not have them believe in anybody but me. And that's what they were doing. They were sabotaging your existence. They were making you become an extension of them. So you would be working as an extension of the narcissist. That's true. I know it's a difficult pill to swallow, but remember, the narcissist never loved you. They have no empathy. They don't love anybody. They can't. What they care about is going from unsuspecting individual to unsuspecting individual all over the globe, taking from them. And then when they get it, whatever they get, they either discard that individual or the person figures it out and they end it. And again, that person has a long road of healing ahead of them. But then the narcissist just so easily slithers on to the next unsuspecting individual. Rinse, wash, repeat. That's what they do. So having said all of these things, the narcissist was sabotaging your relationship. Think about this. Think about your wedding night if you were married. Did things go swimmingly? Probably not. Did they go swimmingly shortly thereafter the wedding? Most likely not. Did they go swimmingly leading up to the wedding? Maybe, maybe not. But the point being, once that wedding ring was slipped on their finger, they knew this person's going nowhere. I now have them. Half of what is theirs is mine, and all of what is mine is mine. Think about it. That's how it works. That's how these people jump around the globe. But having said all these things, the narcissist also sabotaged your relationships with family members, coworkers, friends, esteemed colleagues, neighbors, childhood friends, parents, siblings. Notice, if you will, many times the narcissist will, once somebody meets an individual who turns out to be a narcissist, many times the individual will isolate the narcissist will isolate the individual by moving towns, cities, countries, or locations. And then shortly thereafter, what you will experience at times is this individual who is now in the narcissistic relationship, they're beginning to shut down. They don't attend family functions as much anymore. They don't text in family texts. They're not showing up for holidays, things like that. And you're like, what's going on here? This person used to be a huge part of the family. They had so much energy, and all of a sudden they got married, they moved away, and now they're not really appearing or not really talking with us. Red flag. Get it? It's a red flag. Now, having said that, the longer that the person who you're thinking about is isolated from the family, and the longer they're with this individual who turns out to be a narcissist, the more they will believe in the narcissistic relationship, and they will stay entrenched in the narcissistic fog because they're believing in it. They're in that zombie-like, trance-like state, believing that the narcissist knows everything and knows what's best. This is not a good place to be, but it's a fact. It's happening all over the globe right now as I'm talking. And then the family begins to kind of fall apart, if you get my point, because this affects moms, dads, aunts, uncles, siblings, kids. It affects friends of the individual who's been isolated. And nobody can figure out what the heck is going on. What's going on is this individual just married a narcissist, perhaps. They're being isolated, and now all of their energy is going into that relationship because they bought into the false narrative. They're in the narcissistic fog. They're in too deep. They don't know what to do. This is a tricky place to be. Let me tell you right now, this is how the narcissist sabotages your relationship and your family's relationships with that individual. It's all on purpose. Remember, the narcissistic relationship, it's not built on a solid foundation. The foundation is something that will fall apart. There's no substance to it. It's like, imagine, if you will, a sandcastle at the beach. You spend all day creating the sandcastle. It looks beautiful. It's picture worthy. Oh my goodness. And then along comes one wave. What happens? Boom. The sandcastle is decimated. That is a narcissistic relationship. The exact same thing. It's just a matter of time when that wave will strike. And most likely the wave will strike when your resources, or that person's resources you're thinking about, have been depleted, and they are a shell of themselves. This is why these relationships are some of the most difficult and challenging to go through on the planet. They really are. The reason why I say that is because we are not prepared for them. No one taught you this in school. You actually have to go through it to understand it. Or if you're one of the fortunate ones, I shouldn't say fortunate ones, but if you're one of the people that never went through it, you're getting the wisdom on my channel, and that's a good thing, so you can insulate and protect yourself. The point being, many people, let's say it's a son or a daughter who was in a narcissistic relationship, and the example I just shared with you a minute ago is a real life example. Let's say for you, like your son or daughter has moved states or countries away, and they're isolated by this person who we believe could be a narcissist or a toxic individual, whatever you want to call them. Notice how that changes the family dynamics. It shifts everything from beautiful celebrations of holidays and birthdays and everything. Now that you don't hear from that person, and now that person, many times you will see that person doesn't even want to talk with the immediate family. because they are believing in the narcissist. They're not believing in the way they were brought up. Now, again, there are all different kinds of relationships. I understand it. But what I'm saying is this: if you're in a narcissistic relationship, believe me when I tell you, the narcissist is trying to sabotage the relationship you have with them once they get what they want. But also, they want to do as much damage as possible. They're trying to sabotage relationships around you, your support system, your coworkers, your business, your neighbors, the places you go to, like gyms or religious organizations. Yes, they do all these things. Same thing on social media. They will try and blow up social media, spread gossip and the smear campaign about you on social media. That's what they do. That's how they jump around the globe, going from business to business, person to person, relationship to relationship, and leaving nothing but a wake of destruction in their past. That's what they do. So understand the message. If you're in a stable or healthy relationship, you're going to have proper communication. You're going to have time for each other. You're going to respond to each other. You're going to help each other grow, move forward, and you're building something. If you're not in a stable or healthy relationship, you're going to experience rage fits, the silent treatment, gaslighting, ghosting. You're going to get so many things that don't benefit you. They're not good, but you don't know what's going on until you get the wisdom. That's when you get the wisdom and you couple it with your experience. You're like, oh my gosh, there's a light bulb moment. Something's wrong here. Yeah, what's wrong is perhaps you're in a not good relationship and perhaps you should look to exit it. Just ask yourself every day when you wake up. When you wake up, no matter what relationship you're in right now, if you're in one, how do you feel? Do you feel like you're living in the present moment? Do you feel good and comfortable and confident and abundant? And are you ready to get out and do positive things in the world? That's great. Or if you're waking up and you're going to work and thinking about the person you're in the relationship with, if that person's consuming you and you're checking your phone multiple times a day, I'm talking 5, 10, 100 times a day, or if you're spying on their social media, or if you're doing things for them ahead of things for yourself. In other words, they ask you to go pick up the dry cleaning after work, but you normally exercise, so you're going to skip the exercise to go pick up the dry cleaning, even though the event you're going to attend isn't for a week. See, that's on purpose. They don't want you to exercise. They want you doing things for them, like a nice, good little boy or girl. That's exactly what they want. So that's what I'm saying. Really digest the kind of relationship you're in if you're in one. See if it benefits you. See if it's reciprocal, and see if it is improving. If it's not, I would really take stock and understand what you want out of life, because life is too short. It really is. You should be living your life, not somebody else's. And there's no time like now to make the present. If not now, when? Guys, remember, I am offering one-on-one coaching sessions. Drop an email at narcdailyvideos@gmail.com. I hope you liked the video. I loved doing it. From the beautiful Carolinas, this is Andrew. Namaste. Have a great afternoon. Stay true, stay blessed. Continue to become awakened and aware, and understand you are the priority. You come first, second, and third. Make a positive change in your life today. If not now, when? No matter where you are not alone. I love you all. God bless you, and have a great evening. All right, bye, guys.